Hey, it's Mike, and I am back, and I'm here to talk about some Krishna stuff, and got some videos for you. I got knitting cult lady. I got a lot of stuff. So it's gonna be pretty good. So we're gonna get right to it with the opening.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, I'm back, and thanks for sticking it out. Let's see, we got fake human, man. We got that good rice, that good rice, man. Everybody loves the good rice. Everyone loves some good rice. Yeah, running after that kiwi. Some good rice will lead to some kiwi, but there's definitely a correlation there. And Easy Market, man. Hey, glad to see you here. Man, always glad to see Easy Market. And Easy Market says, hey, where's all that good rice at? Yeah, absolutely. See, the thing about it is once you've had the good rice, you're not going to go back to that cheap rice. I mean, good rice. It's like Chaitanya was like, that's some good rice there. Like we don't usually get that kind of rice around these parts. So, like, what's up with the good rice? Hey, Howard Johnson, man, good to see you. Good to see you here. And yeah, get on the phone, call Hot Lips, tell her she needs to come. Hear the truth, because you never know when Gaura Hari might pop in for a laugh, But actually. It's not so funny anymore. I really think it's disturbing when I see him taking advantage of Hot Lips. Okay, it's still kind of funny, but it's disturbing too now. It's like it's not just funny. It's disturbingly funny, is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. But let's see. Where do we want to start? I'm going to start with Knitting Cult Lady, because usually I start with Knitting Cult Lady. But probably she fits in somewhere else in the show. But I'm going to go with Knitting Cult Lady. I'm going to stick to tradition. I'm going to stick to the 5,000-year-old tradition. Oh, speaking of 5,000-year-old tradition, where's my... Oh, check this out. Hey, it's Bhakti Venmo. Sri Mukunda Swami, how's that? I think that looks pretty good, right? There you go. Okay, let's get that out of there. All right, and so let's get right to Knitting Cult Lady, because she says something that's been on my mind for a while, and so and of course she's always she's always right. So here we go. Let's see. And let me make sure.
ADHD trauma survivor.
Wait a minute.
Who did not grow up in America.
Okay.
And who also was... I feel like I really need y'all to understand a thing. I'm an autistic ADHD trauma survivor who did not grow up in America and who also was military. So trying to judge my tone is just going to be a disaster for all of us. I have been told that I sound condescending my whole life. I was brutally punished for it in the cult. I was told this by my friends in college. I was hated by colleagues in the military because I always knew all this stuff and it was my job to give it to you. And when I watched Big Bang Theory in my 30s, I understood. I'm the Sheldon Cooper of language. Now I know young children who are autistic and getting diagnosed, fortunately, and they always sound like they're upset too. And here's the thing. I have gone through so much work in my life to live integrated and to not be masking. So if you want to be here and you want to get to know me so that you can access my information, that's fine. And nobody who has read my book Uncultured usually judges for tone because it's understandable. And we can just get past the tone and get to the information that I give, which is very good. Because the other reason my tone is so short and snappy is because there's so much information in this brain because of the things I know and the things that I've lived through. So my deal with myself is, y'all, I can either be here giving the information or I cannot. But I'm not tone policing myself and I'm not allowing anyone else to do it. That's the deal. If you want Knitting Cult Lady, you get Knitting Cult Lady. I don't know anyone else that has the insights that I have into this. And that doesn't make me special, just makes me the one doing it right now.
So obviously, she has a lot going on, but she's really good. And so what I wanted to say about that is, I can understand what she meant. The second half, like I'm not autistic that I know of. I don't have some of those issues that she had, like being in the Army or growing up abroad on an Army base or a military base. But what she says about she grew up in the cult, and she has experience in the cult, and she also knows a lot about cults, and she's an expert at cults, and that she's got a lot of stuff up in her head, a lot of trauma, a lot of PTSD, as do I, with what I went through and what my daughter went through. My daughter was a victim of this pedophile cult. So I have my 20 years of experience, my knowledge of cults, my daughter's experience that I also went through, the years after that with the Ritviks, and everything that I went through that I know all up here. It doesn't make me special. It doesn't give me any special powers or any special insight. Just that I'm the one that's doing it now. I'm the one that's speaking what I know now. That's it. I'm not special or anything. And I have a tone. I definitely have a tone like Knitting Cult Lady. And I'm not tone policing myself. I due to all of these issues. We all have issues, and we all deal with them the way that we deal with them. And that doesn't make them all right, but that's just the way it is. So, like she said, I have a tone, and I try to be funny and lighthearted, and sometimes I'm very aggressively disdainful, or I'm very harsh. I use harsh language. I'm maybe a little disrespectful to their cult, but I don't give a fuck about being respectful to their pedophile cult. But if you want to hear what I have to say and have a good time and a laugh, then you get Mike, and sometimes you get Knitting Cult Lady too. You get Mike and you get Knitting Cult Lady, and whoever else happens to be stopping by. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. So especially to these ISKCON people or ISKCON adjacent people that act and pretend to be ex-devotees, just so they can find out what's going on, what's happening. I don't trust any of these Hare Krishnas, and ex-Hare Krishnas that still apologize and have some affiliation or some attachment or some lifeline. It's not that I don't trust them, but I have a special guard up for them. It's a deprogramming class. It's not supposed to be anything different. The truth must be told, and that's exactly what Knitting Cult Lady says. It's the same thing, and that's why I played the clip from her. Because if you've been in a cult, and you know about cults, and you know the damage that they do, the harm that they do, you understand the urgency. There's so many people out there that are getting a book today, and tomorrow they're going to walk into the temple and go, hey, I got this book. And, you know, and they're going to be set on a path for self-destruction. And people commit suicide over this cult. So this is something that's not usually talked about. But devotees get so screwed up in the head, and they feel like they're so unable to follow, and they'd rather just kill themselves or self-harm. There are devotees, children that grew up so traumatized, not able to function in life, not getting an education, being abused, being tortured. When they grew up to be an adult, they just deleted themselves due to all the trauma and the pain and the suffering and the manipulation and the bullshit in their heads. This isn't a joke. This cult isn't a joke. This isn't something to laugh and joke about, the damage that this cult does. This lady says she's only been in it for 2 months. She's already ready to break up with her boyfriend. She's having intimacy issues with her boyfriend. She feels confused and frustrated. She's supposed to be chanting and being happy. And now she's having problems with her relationship, feeling frustrated and confused. That's damage. That's damage that was unnecessary. And it wasn't just her. It's like saying, well, she's free to join. She's an adult. She's free to join. Yeah, but she's being lied to. They're telling her lies. Ancient tradition 5,000 years ago. Krishna appeared 500 years ago, and Chaitanya was Krishna and a hidden avatar, all this stuff. He says everything's Vedic, but where is Chaitanya, this hidden avatar? There's so much bullshit. And these people don't know any better. This girl doesn't know any better. So she's being lied to, manipulated from day one. From day one, they're fucking up her life, her boyfriend's life, probably having problems with her family, because they're probably eating meat, and she's like vegetarian now, and like Thanksgiving coming up, and she's like, I don't eat turkey, or whatever. I can see it. It's the same with everybody. It's not like, oh, she's free. It's not. What about her boyfriend? What about her family? What about them? They're affected by this crap. She's going to run off and join this cult like that guy's brother did. Got a book. When his grandmother passed away, he ended up, somebody gave him a book. Guy had to read it. Now he's a full-on Hare Krishna. He's a disciple of one of these scammer gurus. I can't believe it. One of the same guys that I sit here and spin the wheel and the guy and I show and I go, look at this fucking fraud. But it was too late. This guy had already got a free shot. It was too late. He didn't. Now the family is like, what happened to our brother, kid, cousin, whatever? He's in India milking a cow because his guru says if he milks this cow, he's going to get a body of an 11-year-old girl and fly back to Godhead back to Goloka Vrindavan, take birth as an 11-year-old girl, and then he's going to have sex with Krishna. And he probably doesn't even know that yet. He doesn't even know that's what he's working towards yet. By the time he finds out, he's not going to care because he believes all his other bullshit. So there's more bullshit piled on top of more bullshit. So as you can see, I do have a tone. I do have a tone. I have an attitude. I have a tone. But what can you do? What can you do? What's the proof this is even real? Cult tactics to brainwash you, the worst thing you can do to a human. There's nothing but gaslighting. These regulative principles is nothing but gaslighting. I mean, hey, you want to, gambling, hey, gamble responsibly, right? You want to get intoxicated, hey, drink responsibly, or, be responsible. Right? You want to eat meat? That's up to you. You don't need to be gaslit into deciding or not deciding to do those things. You don't have to be gaslit into believing that there's going to be some Yamaduta boogeyman's going to come and drag you off, and you're going to end up in a hellish planet with drinking liquid lava and hot rods shoved up your ass and all this stuff. It's just ridiculous crap. We don't need that in our lives. We don't need that corrupting our heads and bullshitting us into not wanting to buy a lottery ticket if we want to buy a lottery ticket. Or whatever it is. They follow these fools, these Prabhupada fools with their name. Where's my name? I'm Bhaktivedanta Sri Mukunda Swami. If these guys are anything, that's exactly who I could be. They're brainwashing people to believe all kinds of. Somebody said, I posted a quote, a passage from Prabhupada's book, where he says little girls got to be married. And someone said that I'm delusional. Now, we're delusional. Us ex-devotees are delusional. But we're delusional. Meanwhile, he believes there's a four-headed guy that's growing on a flower that's growing out of the navel of a four-armed guy that's sleeping on a snake that's really his brother while his wife is massaging his feet. So he believes that. But we're delusional when we point out that there's pedophilia in Prabhupada's books. You can't make this up. I'm Bhaktivedanta Sri Mukunda. You can't make this shit up. I'm giving you the truth. I'm giving you the absolute truth. The absolute truth right here. Yeah, look at it. Another fraudster, Rasik Mohan Maharaj from Radhakunj, was crying his eyes out when his guru gave him sannyas. He is in his early 30s. The man is miserable and was brainwashed from childhood. So, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. I'm glad you reminded me of that. So, people talk like Knitting Cult Lady, and I'm not knocking Knitting Cult Lady, right? She's like the guru, the cult guru. No, she's not that. She's really good though. But I'm not knocking her at all. But she grew up in the Children of God. So she grew up in a cult, right? She didn't choose to join it. She grew up in it. She wasn't she was manipulated as a child growing up in the cult. But that's different. All children are indoctrinated into either their family tradition or their family rituals or whatever their family does. Whether they celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah, or they don't celebrate anything because they're Jehovah's Witness, or whatever it is that they do. They're brought up, as a child, thinking, you understand that, well, some of us do this and some of us do that. So she was brought up like that. And, thinking that at a certain point, she was thinking this is just the way life is because I'm a child and I don't know any better. That's it. So then she got indoctrinated and grew up in the cult. Now, that's bad, and that's she's brainwashed, and she's has trauma over that, absolutely. But some of us were not grown up in the cult. We joined it. We actively joined it on our own. We got hooked. We took the bait. There was a worm on a hook, and we snatched it, and we got hooked like a fish, not knowing that it was a hook, just thinking it was lunch, it was a worm, and we were going to just like, No, we got hooked, and we got brainwashed and manipulated as adults, or as whatever age. For me, I was 31. I was 31 years old. I wasn't a child. That's a different experience altogether. It's a different type of manipulation. It's a different type of gaslighting. It's a different type. It's like they couldn't tell me. You can tell a child, hey, you put a tooth under your pillow, and the tooth fairy's going to come and put $1 take the tooth and put $1 under there. And the little kid's going to do it, and he's going to wake up, and there's going to be $1. And the little kid's going to think that there's a tooth fairy. But you can't tell an adult, put your tooth under the pillow, and in the morning the tooth fairy is going to put, the adult's going to go, what tooth fairy? What are you talking about? So it's a whole different type of manipulation and gaslighting and brainwashing on an adult than on a child. So I just want to make that distinction. A lot of people don't understand. They think, well, a child, you grew up in a cult, that was worse. Well, I don't know if it's worse. I'm not saying that one has to be worse. It's different. Her experience growing up in the cult is different than someone like me who joined it. And I brought my daughter in with me. So two lives. I was responsible for bringing her into it. And then she gets molested. That's what I'm saying. This cult, what did she do? She was just hanging out with her dad. I got sucked into this cult. And then she ends up suffering for it. And how does that make me feel? I mean, I know how it makes her feel pretty bad. I know she experienced it, but how do you think I feel? I brought her into it. I didn't have to bring her into it. I didn't have to bring her around the temple, but I did, thinking that everything was cool. What did I know? I didn't know. Fuck this cult. You think I'm the only one that got played? My daughter's the only one? These people come along and go, well, not everybody was harmed. Some people join ISKCON and everything is just hunky-dory. No, it's not. It ain't hunky-dory for nobody. They're being manipulated and mentally tortured. Nobody wants to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, take a cold shower, and go chant some mumbo-jumbo for 2 hours, and then go dance around. Nobody wants to do that. They're doing it because they think it's something that it's not. They think it's a 5,000-year-old tradition, and it's Vedic culture, and it's this and it's that. And I'm going to space travel back to the Goloka Vrindavan. I'm going to go back to the cow planet. Goloka is cow planet. I'm going to go to the cow planet and be an 11-year-old cowherd girl. And gets to have sex with the cowherd boy on the cow planet. And you want to call me delusional. You're going to call me delusional because I'm pointing out 11-year-old girls having sex with the cowherd boy on the cow planet. And you want to call me delusional. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. The fraudsters needs to wake up, smell the roses. They have no argument. Their only argument is, you're committing offenses. You're committing offenses. You're trying to lick the jar of honey rather than, no, I was in the jar. I was swimming around in the honey. And I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't honey. It's a pile of shit is what it is. So I'll tell you this, you can smell the shit before you even open the jar, okay? That's how fucked up it is. There ain't no fucking honey in that jar. That's a jar of bullshit. Justice for little girls. Yeah, no little girl is safe in this. No little girl is safe in this cult. And I've been saying that for a long time. And for a long time, I felt like I was just saying it because my daughter. No. After researching this bullshit for years and years and years, and the database and connecting all the dots, and Ramananda Roy. Prabhupada had an 11-year-old wife. Well, that's a big fucking dot. Ramananda Roy is a big friggin' dot. All of these gurus with these kids, dots and freaking dots hitting you in the head. It's not hard to connect. That's like I said before. You have so many dots, you can see what it is before you even connect them. You don't even need to connect them. The dots show you what it is. Connect the dots. And if you can't see this shit after 60 years of this bullshit, if you're sitting there going, well, Mike, you know, it does say, I don't know, explain this verse to me again, and who, Bhavananda, what, and what? Get the fuck out of here. I'm a fucking nobody. And I figured out what was going on by the time my daughter was molested. By the time she was molested, I had figured it out. Unfortunately, I came in contact with these Ritviks, and they convinced me, they had me convinced that it was all the guru's fault, not Prabhupada's fault. Because I was like, how could Prabhupada be a pure devotee and all this shit happening? Well, the Ritviks have an explanation for that. Well, Prabhupada didn't do it. These gurus did it. So I just ranted for like a long time on Knitting Cult Lady video. So there's some other videos that got sent in for me to watch, and one of them is this. It's not a debate, but I guess it's not a debate, but it's an interview. And Skeptic Perspective sent it in and said, hey, check this out at like the 34-minute mark. And I said, okay, I will. Yeah, justice for little girls again, absolutely. I can't get enough of that. Yeah, we took the bait. Yes, we took the bait. We voluntarily joined and gave our lives to this cult. We did. And like we can't blame it on like I feel like, you know, I wish I could blame it on I was raised in it and I had no choice. I had a choice. I didn't have to join this cult. And all on me. I can't blame my parents for it. I can't blame anyone for it. I blame Prabhupada and the devotees for misleading and lying to me and not being honest. You think a holy person dressed up like a holy person in a temple praying to God and you know, and with the flowers and the incense and the bell and all that, you wouldn't think they'd be just straight up lying to your face. Then you come to find out they're lying about everything. Yeah, we took the bait. Absolutely, man. And I feel for those who were born in it, though a lot of them suffer from. Like I said, you can't ever break away from the fantasy. Yeah, I feel for them too because they don't know. They don't understand that you can leave because to them there is no leaving. There is no leaving. That's why they commit suicide. There is no lead to them. They're so immersed in it from childhood through everything, all the trauma, all the bullshit, the lies, the gurus, the sexual assault, everything. They don't understand that they can leave. They don't understand they can leave. There is no leaving for them. Like a lot of these Scientology people, if they leave, Their whole family and their whole life is in there. Their family's in there. Their friends and family. That's how it is on a lot of cults. Like this knitting cold lady, you know, she's in there. She says she escaped it with 3 generations of her family, but there's probably family members that didn't leave. Scientology members leave, but they don't ever leave. Sometimes the wife leaves or the husband leaves, but not everybody leaves. Same thing in Hare Krishna. My daughter said, Dad, I don't want to do this years before I left. She's like, I'm done with doing that. I don't want to do that no more. She grew up, basically. She grew up. She went from 6 to 13. She said, I'm done. I'm done with it. And it took me another, I don't know, 8 years or whatever. So however many years I was still in it. But some of these kids, they don't know. They don't realize that they can leave. Their mom and dad's there. Their dad's the temple president. Their mom is whatever, dancing in the thing. And they got gurus, and their parents have gurus. And they don't know any. And that is really traumatic. Because when they do make that break, they got to leave everything. They got to leave their mom and dad. Or they got to It's traumatic. They can't break, because they're raised in it. Yeah, they can't break from the fantasy world that they're raised in. I feel bad for the parents who think they're doing the best for their children. They're basically setting them up for failure and heavy trauma. Yeah, I thought I was giving my daughter a great environment, a spiritual environment, a community. Friends, Krishna conscious friends, vegetarian friends. I thought, in the beginning, that's what it was. To me, that's what it was. It was a great environment, but then the more you get involved in it, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's, the cow planet, man. You're gonna go to the cow planet. You're gonna go to the cow planet and marry the cowboy, the little cowboy. So here's this guy, and he's talking, and Skeptic Perspective said it gets good right at this point. So let's see what's going on here. Let me see if I get this. I don't even know if it's going to work.
Called A Rose with Thorns, recorded in October of 1984
this guy is a Hare Krishna.
in Boulder, Colorado, by the 2 most senior disciples of Chogyam Trungpa, his Dharma successor, the Vajrayana, and also the Dorji Lopan Lojo Dorji, who's still alive today in Halifax. Woo! So that's the source where they talk about Adolf Hitler. Woo!
Right. And this guy's still alive today? This guy that was talking? Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, this guy, I've listened to this tape many times, and I met with him personally.
Hold on a second. Let me. He was talking about Hitler.
Right? And they'll just whistle and talk in circles, and they won't talk to me about it because I'm not on the inside anymore, right? I'm not one. But and they don't tell their junior students about it, but they know it's part of their teachings.
Oh, they do know. They really know, but they keep it all hush hush.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the source document. I was given 4 audio tapes by accident by one of their senior students named Bob Regal, who's Jewish. He moved to Chiang Mai, Thailand, to retire with. He was about 70 years old. His wife was like a 35-year-old Thai, and he retired in Chiang Mai, Thailand, where I was living. So we got together. So nice to see a fellow Tibetan Buddhist there, So he gave me a bunch of audio tapes to study of my guru, and then he accidentally gave me these 4 restricted teachings. So the name of these 4 tapes is called A Rose with Thorns, recorded in October of 1984 in Boulder, Colorado, by the 2 most senior disciples of Chogyam Trungpa, his Dharma successor, the Vajrayana, and also the Dorji Lopan Lojo Dorji, who's still alive today in Halifax.
This guy sounds absolutely insane, but he does talk about Prabhupada. I guess he's going to talk about Prabhupada.
Woo! So that's the source where they talk about Adolf Hitler. Woo!
Right. And this guy is still alive today. This guy that was talking. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, this guy. I've listened to this tape many times, and I met with him personally to discuss this. I've got a tape of him and me in 1999 because I published my book, and he had some misgivings. I have a chapter called Adolf Hitler and Tibetan Buddhism he wanted to discuss with me. He asked me to take some things out for the next edition, which I did out of respect for him. Yeah, so he's still alive. He must be about 70 years old, and he's in Halifax. His real name is Eric Holm. His title is the Dorji Lopan Lojo Doris. His Tibetan title, but his name is Eric Holm.
It does make you wonder how many of these spiritual leaders around the world.
Okay, so I guess this guy talking is the Hare Krishna, and this other guy is the Brian Rue guy is the Buddhist. I got it backwards, but anyway, they start talking about. I guess they talk about Hitler.
Know the truth, and they just don't want to talk about it because they just don't want to deal with the hassle, you know?
Yeah, like you do. Like a Prabhupada, you agree with. He was very good. He told the truth about Hitler. He was more courageous than the Shambhala organization, right? He said it, right? Like I did some talks with Mukunda Dasa. Mukunda Dasa really praised Hitler and quotes from Prabhupada about Hitler.
So, I see. So that's what he's saying. He's confirming the fact. He's saying, so this guy's pro-Hitler, and he's confirming that Prabhupada himself was pro-Hitler. That's...
Yeah, I mean, he talked about it, but... Well, he did. He talked about it openly and everything, but only now and again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, his disciples, they don't follow. They don't listen to what he said. So it's kind of it's a mess. I mean,
I heard what happened with his disciples, that the Jews took over, your International Christian Consciousness Organization, right?
Yeah, they poisoned him. And
they poisoned him to death.
Okay, so this Hare Krishna and this Buddhist guy are claiming that the Jews took over Prabhupada's organization, ISKCON, and poisoned him. That's what he just said.
They poisoned him. The evidence has come out now. I think it came out in 2017. Well, people kind of knew that he...
He says the evidence came out. There's no evidence. I'm sorry, but there's no evidence. There's speculations, and there's not even circumstantial evidence. There is no evidence. There's just claims. That's it. There's claims. There's no.
Been poisoned because when he was, going into samadhi, he said, "I've been poisoned," right? So he went from being very healthy to very sick very quickly.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're 80-something years old. When you're 80-something years old, you go from being healthy one day to being dead. You can literally be dead the next day. It doesn't always happen that way, but it can. At 80 years old, 81, 82, you can get sick overnight. You can get sick in 24 hours. You can get sick in 48 hours. Sepsis, sepsis almost took out my mother. She was 81, and she went from being normal person, 81. She went from being a healthy 81-year-old. She got sepsis, and within 72 hours, she was in the hospital and about to pass away. So, it's ridiculous to think that Prabhupada somehow couldn't get sick, especially in India, in a little place like Vrindavan or wherever, that he couldn't get sick over the course of 3 or 4 months and die. I don't know what planet he's from.
So we kind of knew, but most people thought it was arsenic, and they couldn't quite prove it. But they have the proof now because
they couldn't quite prove it, but they have the proof now. No, they don't have any proof.
Because they've analyzed his hair clippings, and he was poisoned by cadmium, which is a very specific kind of radioactive poison, very expensive and very rare. So it does make you wonder if there was some government.
So it's very expensive and very rare. So rather than saying that discounts the possibility of cadmium because it's never been used as a poison. No one's ever used it as a poison. There's no recorded cases of cadmium being used as a poison to kill someone, to poison them. It's never happened. It's very expensive and it's very rare. It's hard to get a hold of. So you got to just say, well, it's just cadmium that's occurring naturally in the atmosphere, in the nature, which it does. So that rather than go with that, no, let's go with that means there was some government like the government wanted to kill Prabhupada. Why? Because he had pedophilia in his books. These people are the stupidest people. I don't know. I think possibly on the planet.
Involvement or what? I don't know. It's not like your average poison that your average person would use. But
and then the Jews took over control of the organization. Yeah, Mukunda Dasa explained that to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys really stuck on the Jews and glorifying Hitler. Because Prabhupada was right about Hitler. Prabhupada was honest about Hitler. And so both of these guys are going on.
I've done videos on this about him getting poisoned. I've got videos with Mukunda Dasa.
Yeah, and they was poisoned, and they took over, and they trashed the movement.
So again, rather than it's Ritviks that took over and trashed the movement by instigating, injecting this Ritvik philosophy, it was the Jews that infiltrated ISKCON and killed Prabhupada with poison. Oh my God, what do we got here? You got to be kidding. Hey, Hare pedophile to you too, buddy. Hare pedophile. How's that?
But like I say, the evidence came out now, like the hard evidence. Like when I joined the movement, there was always the rumor, but it was always slightly uncertain. Like you kind of knew, but you didn't really know. There's a question mark. But as I say, in 2017, a documentary came out. It's called "Kill Guru, Become Guru," and yeah, we've got hard evidence now. Cadmium.
No, there's no hard evidence. A documentary is not hard evidence. There may be something in the documentary that may lead you to think that there's hard evidence, but there's no hard evidence. I'm sorry. Unless someone confesses, you're not going to have hard evidence. So I don't know. It's ridiculous to even bring it up. So I don't know. I think someone said Hare Krishna in here. I think we have one of these. Jai Jesus, bro. I don't know who you are, man. I don't know who you are, but if you're one of these ISKCON pedophile guys, you come to the right place because you need to be deprogrammed, and I'm going to show you some more of your Krishna pedophile people. So let's move right into that, because I guess that's what you need. I don't know. So here we go, right on the Krishna 1008 page. You have where he promotes, this guy who promotes Tattva Darshan. He has an article about Bhavananda and Badri Narayan and Radhanath and Tirtha. And there you can see a picture of Bhavananda, one of the great evil, disgusting people of ISKCON that they glorify. And it says here, is this Alfred Ford's home for wayward acharyas? And this was written on October 16th, 2025. And it says, Bhavananda Child Abuse in ISKCON, Part 1. It says, Bhavananda Das, one of ISKCON's original 11 successor acharyas, who lied about being appointed as such by Prabhupada, is widely known and documented to have physically and sexually abused children and minors in ISKCON. So you can see he has no problem just standing there right there in Mayapur in front of the big Krishna, the big new temple that they're building there, proudly standing there with his buddies, and they're proudly standing there with him. They don't give it. They don't care. They don't care who he is. To them, he's some great holy man. Otherwise, why would they be standing there and having their picture taken with him if he's not some great holy man? I mean, what's the point of just... No, he's a great holy man, this disgusting pig monster of a person. He's a man-bear pig. He's pig is what he is. And these guys have no problem standing there with him. They just have no problem standing there with him. They're probably disgusting monsters too. How do you... Let's read more about... excuse me. Read more about what he's done. Let's see. Where am I here? There I am. Although there was a Child Protection Office investigation into his crimes, the outcome was hamstrung by an ISKCON leadership inclined to sabotage revelation of the truths in these matters. In April 2023, Dhira Govinda Das was asked, did the CPO investigation you supervised in the late 1990s only scratch the surface of Bhavananda's sexual escapades? His reply, yes. Now, I don't know if any of this is true. I don't know who wrote this. It's just posted on this Pod Characters page. And although he is a fraud and a phony, he does a good job of recording all of this crap in ISKCON to use against them. But he's just as disgusting as they are, because he promotes this Tattva Darshan character and all of Prabhupada's disgusting books. So he's not saving anybody. He's not helping anybody. He's not doing anything he thinks he's doing. So it goes on and it says, so now whoever wrote this page, whoever wrote this about him, he says this. So first of all, they go, of course, karma may be delayed, but is ultimately never denied. The CPO's restrictions and rectification plan was all they could do, but it amounted to practically nothing. How do you rectify a lifelong child abuser? He never was properly investigated, never accounted for all his misdeeds, never went to jail for even a day, and walks around freely to this day. Then he says this part. If he did not prey on children under 13, he may technically not be a pedophile, but many unverified and persistent claims online say he was definitely a pedophile, sexually abusing younger children. Okay, so let me just stop right there and so I don't know if this is Pod that's writing this or if this is somebody else writing that. I'm going to go ahead and just say, well, when you get down here, okay, it was written by the JFSPF team, Justice for Srila Prabhupada something team. So basically what they're saying, to have justice for Prabhupada, is what they're trying to say is that children under 13, he says, so this Justice for Prabhupada, Justice for Srila Prabhupada Foundation states, if he did not prey on children under 13, he may technically not be a pedophile. So he says, To me, it is clear that Bhavananda did engage in sex with minors. However, his primary sexual attraction was to adult males or teenage males who already had adult bodies. So they want to say that, first of all, they're trying to say that children under 13, children at the age of 13, it's no longer pedophilia. If he has sex with a 13-year-old girl, that's not pedophilia. That's what it says. If he did not prey on children under 13, he may technically not be a pedophile. Well, who says that? Who says where does it say that? Under 13. You're going to tell me that someone 13 having sex with 13 is not pedophilia because they're 13 and they're not 12? They got to be 12 now? So they want to move the goalposts and say, well, no, 13, anything, pedophilia is under 13. No. Underage is underage. Underage is underage. Yeah, you get down to like 7, 8 years old, it is really fucking disgusting. But 13 is fucking disgusting too. What is wrong with you? You can't, there's something wrong. Twelve, 13 years old, something wrong. What are you, a little house on the prairie? You don't need a 13-year-old wife or your 37-year-old son. Hey, your daughter's looking pretty there. You think you'd mind having her for a wife for my creepy-ass 37-year-old son? You want me to say, well, because she was 13, is not technically not a pedophile. Now we're getting down to the point where we're splitting hairs on what is technically and not technically a pedophile. What the fuck, man? I got another fucking freak in here. Another fucking idiot. Another pedophile idiot in here. What's your age, though? What the fuck does it matter what my age is? You piece of fucking shit. The fuck is wrong with you? Age is no barrier to awakening from ignorance. Exactly. Look, running for that kiwi. Yeah, we got another fucking pedophile. A guy who believes in child marriage and pedophilia, and he's asking me if I'm drunk. This piece of shit is asking me if I'm drunk. He's in here to defend pedophilia. He saw the thumbnail of my episode that says ISKCON is a pedophile factory. And so this pedophile came in here to defend it. This Vixie 213. This fucking idiot. This piece of shit idiot came in here to defend ISKCON's pedophile factory. He's got something to say. Like he's going to ask me how old I am. What the fuck? Suck my dick. That's how old I am. Fucking piece of shit. You fucking pedophile. You fucking pedophile. You probably joined this cult so you get a fucking 11-year-old wife. That's what you fucking do. You fucking piece of shit. Yeah, you are. You're a piece of shit. You're a fucking pedophile piece of shit. I'm going to ban you. Because you're fucking lying. You're going to come in here and you're going to defend this shit and then you're going to fucking lie about it? The fuck? The fuck out of here, man. There, I'm banning your ass. Fuck you. Fucking dick. All this child abuse. It says here, it is safe to say that maybe 95% of his child abuse, physical and sexual, is still undocumented, uninvestigated, and unpunished. Unpunished. It says here, to me it is clear that Bhavananda did engage in sex with minors. However, his primary sexual attraction was to adult males. So they don't want to call him a pedophile. There we go. He says, it does mean, though, that from a clinical point of view, he wouldn't be labeled as a pedophile. Based on activities, it can certainly be said that he committed egregious child maltreatment, vicious child abuse. This was Dhira Govinda in 2023. No wonder they had to create Justice for Prabhupada Fraud Organization to defend what? I don't know how they can defend him from anything. I don't know how they can defend him from anything. Here, Dhira Govinda, the former CPO director, is defending Bhavananda. And he's saying, it's clear to me that Bhavananda did engage in sex with minors, but we can't label him a pedophile because of what Prabhupada says in his books. Prabhupada says they gotta be married. So how can we call him a pedophile? How can we call them a pedophile? If Prabhupada's telling us to get married to these young girls, how can we label Bhavananda a pedophile if Prabhupada says that 13-year-old girls must be married? So we can't. We have to change. We got to change the meaning of pedophile. Pedophile now means 13 under 13. Under 13. So Bhavananda lives at this Mayapur complex. Bhavananda, all of these friggin' disgusting pieces of shit. All you fucking pieces of shit. The Temple of Vedic Planetarium is currently raising funds in North America. Why are you allowing a project led by child abusers to be promoted in North American temples? It says it right there. I didn't write that. That's right here. That's right here on this fucking Hare Krishna page. Hare Krishnas are telling on themselves. But they're too stupid to leave. They're too stupid to leave. Too fucking stupid to leave. Telling on themselves. The Temple of Vedic Planetarium has two notorious child abusers, Satadanya and Bhavananda, at the helm. At the helm. These guys are in charge. And you're going to tell me this is not ISKCON is not a fucking pedophile factory? You got the two notorious child abusers are at the head of their Mayapur big giant temple project. Like they couldn't find anyone else to run this. They had to get these two guys to run it. That's what you're telling me? You're gonna fucking tell me? You're gonna try and fucking? You want me to believe that shit? Out of all your million, hundreds of thousands of members, all these smart ass members that you have in Bangalore or wherever, in Delhi and Mumbai and all over, these really smart tech guys, so many of them, really smart guys you've got in there. And who did you find to run your big giant temple project in Mayapur? The two smartest guys that you could find to run your big multi-billion-dollar, billion-rupee project to build this big giant temple. The two smartest, most savvy guys you could find in your whole fucking pedophile factory just happened to be two notorious child abusers. And you're going to tell me this is not a pedophile factory? This guy who's the head of the child, this guy is the head. He's the former CPO director, and he's the one that's saying, and we can't call him a pedophile because just because he had sex with minors, that doesn't necessarily mean, he ever engaged with sex with prepubescent children. Oh, they just want to change the definition of a pedophile. So Jerry Seinfeld, when he's 30-something years old, he's going out with a 17-year-old high school girl, picking her up from school, picking her up from high school, and they're calling him a pedophile. But you don't want to call Bhavananda a pedophile when he's having sex with 13-year-old kids. Puberty is the process of sexual maturation that typically occurs between the ages of 10 and 14 for girls and 12 and 16 for boys. Puberty, we don't need no stinking puberty. We're Hare Krishnas. We're above the law. We're above the law. We don't have to follow the law. We can answer our phone in our car and right in front of the police. We don't care. We can hide out little kids, underage girls, drive them around from temple to temple, fly them over to here, fly them there, hide them out from their parents. Perfectly fine. We can shortchange people in the airports and sell them bogus this and bogus that. Lie to them, cheat, shortchange them. Fine, no problem. It's all Krishna's arrangement, it's all Lakshmi, it's all Krishna's money. They got a fucking bullshit for anything. They got a bullshit for everything. A bullshit for everything. They need to defend his crimes. They need to defend it. How many children's lives have been destroyed by this cult and continue to be destroyed by this cult? Continue to this day. They still have schools, and people are still sending their kids to these schools, and they're still getting molested. They're still getting molested. I hope so. I hope they get a hold of all these people that they don't care. They come in here and start defending this shit. This thing goes on. It says around 1984, Bhavananda removed M-DOS at the age of 12 from the new Govardhan Gurukula in Australia. He brought M-DOS traveling with him and sexually abused him. That's sex trafficking. He brought M-DOS to the rural ISKCON farm community called New Godadesh, where M-DOS burnt down a house. The temple president was Krodeshwar, and the police took M-DOS away for questioning. Days later, a detective said the boy had admitted to being responsible for the fire and that he was being molested by Bhavananda. But they don't do anything to them. This guy's now just living in Mayapur. He's like living it up. Living it up. Bhaktivedanta said that when she visited her son at the Vrindavan Gurukula, he had a scabbed over 3-inch cut on his neck from Bhavananda ordering the teachers to scrub the boys' necks until they bled. These guys are sick. These guys are sick monsters. They never should have been in charge of kids. They never should have been in charge of anything. Prabhupada was a fucking scumbag for putting these people in charge of anything. These guys weren't qualified to do shit. These guys weren't qualified to do shit. Prabhupada's got them being treated like fucking kings and queens and fucking worshipped like gods. Why? Because Prabhupada said. Because Prabhupada said that this guy was somebody. They put him in charge of the schools, and now kids are being friggin' tortured because of him and sexually abused and trafficked across the globe. It's fucking disgusting. These pedophiles, they want to come in here and defend this shit. I don't see any of you guys in here, all you people watching right now, you ain't speaking up about it. You must all agree with it. Must all fucking agree with it. Magic touch puberty, man. Just gotta touch that kiwi. Satvik said he was with Pitpalai in Mayapur when Pitpalai witnessed Bhavananda sexually abusing a boy. You know, I don't even want to read this shit. It's just so disgusting. These guys will they'll come into this chat, or they'll come into this live stream, and get them come into the chat, and they'll say shit to disrupt. They ask me stupid questions and say, Jai Jesus or whatever the fuck they want to talk about. It's so fucking stupid. They think it's a fucking joke. They think it's a fucking game. They really think it's a fucking game. Like, oh, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna say Hare Krishna to this guy. Yeah, I make fun and I joke around and shit. Otherwise, we'd fucking go crazy. Fucking go crazy over this shit. I got the patience for this fucking idiot come in here and ask me how old I am? When my daughter was fucking molested by these freaks, and you think I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna play your fucking game? Your stupid little fucking pedophile game? The fuck, man? Get a grip. I ain't got time for your shit. I'm sitting here talking about how my daughter was molested by you freaks, and you want to come in here and fucking play games with me? The fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? It's fucking nasty, disgusting shit. Trolling about pedos. They come in, they're like, oh, he's going to be talking about ISKCON pedophiles. Let's go disrupt it and show that we defend pedophiles. That's their mentality. If I say the truth, if they had something to say something. Say that the pedophilia in Prabhupada's books is wrong. Say it's wrong, and we'll talk about that. Or say it's right, and we'll talk about that. Come in here and tell me that Prabhupada was right when he said 11-year-old girls need to get married, and that he was 22 when his. Come in here, let's talk about that. Come in here and let's discuss Prabhupada having sex with an 11-year-old girl and how you feel about it and how it makes you feel and what you think about it. Let's talk about that. Put that in the chat. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about when Prabhupada says that talks about Negroes being ugly and belong in the jungles. Let's talk about that. You don't want to talk about that. You want to come in and ask me, hey, how old are you? Fucking stupid. You guys expose yourself for the fucking idiots you are. I don't even have to do anything. I just sit here, speak the truth. You come in, act like an idiot. The fucking world you fucking idiots live in. I'm talking about little kids being molested, my daughter being molested. You fucking brainwashing, destroying people's lives, and you come in here and want to fucking think it's a fucking joke? Because you can't defend it? You have no fucking argument? None of you people watching can say anything. None of you can say anything. Just tell me Prabhupada's wrong when he says little girls should. Just type it in to say Prabhupada was wrong when he says little girls at 11-year-olds need to be married. You can't do it. You can't fucking do it. Type in right now that ISKCON is wrong for letting the Bhavananda and Satyadhana and all of these fucking pedophiles living in their temples and running their fucking show. Tell us it's wrong. Go ahead. No, you're gonna come in. Hey, how old are you? Hey, bro. Hare Krishna, bro. Fucking stupid. You got a fucking thought in your head. You gotta open up Prabhupada's book to figure out what to say because you don't know what to fucking say. You can't even argue with me. I'm nobody. Who am I again? You can't even argue with Bhaktivedanta Sri Mukunda Swami. You can't even do that. But you think you're somebody. You're gonna come in here and I'll show them. The fuck? Raised by great minds. They're fucking idiots, man. Fucking idiots. Mental. What is it again? Mental Incorporated. Retards are us, man. I'm going to go in and disrupt their talk. They're talking about us. He's like, oh, well, they're talking about Prabhupada, and they're talking about Prabhupada's books, and they're talking about ISKCON. So I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to disrupt their talk. What the fuck are you going to do? What the fuck are you going to do? You're going to come in here and just be disruptive? Now I can understand why teachers get upset when they're teaching in a class back in high school and we're in the back going, rah, rah, rah. And the teacher's like, get the fuck out of my class, disrupting my class. Exactly. You come in here to defend pedophilia. If you're going to defend it. Otherwise, shut up and just listen. If you're going to defend it. Put it here. Prabhupada was wrong or Prabhupada was right. I want to have a discussion. Do you think Prabhupada was right? Do you think Prabhupada was wrong? Do you think ISKCON's a pedophile factory? Let's discuss that. You want to discuss that? Let's discuss it. And a bunch of you people bunch of you watching right now, you're not saying shit. Not saying shit. Just Tim and Fake Human and Howard Johnson. That's it. What's the rest of you? The rest of you watching? Fucking idiots. This woman won money from the $400 million lawsuit, became a drug addict, but she's still in the cult because she cannot break free from her goods. They should take that money away. They should take that money away from her, give it to my daughter, is what they should do. Should give my daughter some of that money. My daughter deserves some of that money. Good name, man. And stay in the cult. Stay in the cult. It's like suing your employer for all kinds of friggin' crimes, but you don't quit, and then you win and prove that he did all these bad things, and then you're like, well, but I'm still working here. Joke's on you. It's friggin' disgusting, man. So there was something else I wanted to show you from this. Oh, here we go. It's right here. It's right here. So, so this is Radhanath. So he says, October 1st, 1989. On this date, 36 years ago, Radhanath Swami writes an inspiring letter to Salochan's murderer, Tirtha, in prison, and explains, without a goal worth dying for, we have nothing worthwhile to live for. Any shallow creature can speak these words. Very few most fortunate souls have the courage and integrity to engrave these words within the heart of hearts and remain faithful in the face of life and death. And in the same letter, Radhanath glorifies Tirtha's book, Meditations on the American Gulag, which Tirtha had written in prison. He says, quote, your beautiful book is the most popular book amongst your god brothers and god sisters in India. It is even more sought after than any other book. So what kind of holy man glorifies a murderer in prison and tells him that without a goal worth dying for, we have nothing worthwhile to live for. What kind of holy man tells a murderer that? A man who's sitting in jail for murder, who's doing life in jail for murder. What kind of holy man is that? This is all coming from Henry Doktorsky's book, Killing for Krishna. Why would a holy man do that? What kind of holy man glorifies a murderer? Someone in cold blood put 2 bullets into a guy's head. You got to think about that. You got to think about that. You got pedophiles and 2 pedophiles leading the headquarters in Mayapur. You got one of their leading swamis running around writing letters to murderers in prison, telling them that good job. Good job. You have freaks coming into this chat trying to defend this bullshit because they're too stupid to see what's going on. It's too fucking stupid to see it. I was too stupid to see it. I believed all the bullshit. I believed the bullshit. Oh, it is the gurus and, Prabhupada's pure devotee and, it's disciplic succession, there's a scampradaya. I want to commit a aparad, I got to do my sadhana. Varnashram, japa, mangalarti. This is fucking language, man. All this jargon. You don't even know what you're talking. You don't even know what you're saying. You're just repeating shit. It's freaking cosplaying. Cosplaying, dressing up, acting, eating, talking like you're fucking from another freaking planet, another time, fucking another century. This is fucking bullshit. Krishna Priya Peterson from Canada and her whole family suffered at the hands of the Gurukula teachers. They won money from the lawsuit. Her brother committed suicide last year. I think I heard about that. I think I heard about that, and I did a show about it. I think I talked about that. I had to. It had to have been the same. I think it probably the same, because it's hard to think that there was 2 that happened under the same circumstance. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's actually there were like 3 suicides last year, 23 and 24. It was like 3. So, and I was live streaming at the time. I believe I was live streaming at the time, and I was talking about it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've said this before, and I'll say this for the new people that are just tuning in. I knew 2 devotees that committed suicide. Jagjivan, he was homosexual, and he was tormented his whole life being homosexual, and he committed suicide around 2003 or 4, something like that. 5, I don't know, somewhere around there. 6. And Janardana, he passed away before that. Janardana was just stressed out, and he just jumped off his balcony or something, and just didn't want to deal with it. He didn't want to deal with the gurus and sannyasis and all of these regular. It's like all that stuff in his head. He couldn't let it go. Aparad and just Yamadutas and just and he killed himself. He was just like, I can't take it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. If you want to come here and defend this and go, well, not everybody jumps off their balcony. Not everybody drowns themselves in a... Well, yeah, not everybody. Everybody wants to, but not everybody does it. Fucking insane as a whole. This is a spiritual organization, causes mental illness and freaking suicides and child marriage and sexual assaults and domestic violence. I mean, look, there's going to be some guy going smacking his wife around. It doesn't matter what church he's going to. That's on that guy. But when you got a whole organization based around teachings where that's allowed, and if it's allowed, then it's going to be encouraged. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't see this part. Trey Martin, what are you talking about? So she became a disciple of Narayan Maharaj in his early days. She cannot break free from the lies and deception they fed her. Her parents were super fanatic. Her brother killed her mom years ago. This just, I'm sorry, man. If you put the blind eye to these crimes, you're guilty as charged. That's part of waking up, man. Is you got to say, look, you got to connect the dots. These things are all connected. The mental illness, the sexual abuse, the pedophilia, the child marriage, the sex trafficking, the human trafficking, the crimes, the pickpocketing, the racism, the women have small... I mean, this is a laundry list of horrible shit. And these people want to defend this crap. I mean, it just blows my mind. And not even really defend it. They just want to just muddy the waters and disrupt shit. And that's why I say I don't trust these people. These people are always going to come in here and say, what does this fucker say? I'm not supporting anybody. Bullshit. Then what are you doing here? I don't buy their bullshit. And I'm sorry, I just don't. And you're going to find these fuckers everywhere. They're going to say, yeah, I'm not in ISKCON, I'm ex-ISKCON, I'm not in ISKCON, I'm anti-ISKCON. Well, they ain't. They may be anti-ISKCON, but they're pro-Prabhupada. They may be anti-cult, but they're pro-Prabhupada. They may be anti-Prabhupada, but they're going to be pro-Vedic cult. They're going to be pro-something. And that's bullshit. That shit is harmful. It's just as harmful, if not more harmful. Hiding it, pretending you're not a Hare Krishna when you really are, just so you can disrupt shit and muddy the water and bullshit your way around and sneak in some preaching and hinder other people from telling the truth. Fuck that. Fuck that. You ain't ex anything. If you're trying to stop people from telling the truth and helping other people, then you're still in it. And fuck you. I turned into a knitting cult lady, and it felt good. I can see why she does it. I can see why. It's like I don't have time. I don't have time in my life to be nice and hold your hand. I'm not here to hold your hand and walk you out of this cult all with flowers and all sunshine and rainbows and bullshit. I'm here to tell you the truth. You get the fuck out. The fuck out of this cult. All guru coolies I know are completely traumatized. They all deal with their traumas differently. They're all traumatized. And personally, I believe the ones that say that nothing happened to them, Something happened. And it could be as simple as just witnessing your friend getting abused, getting yelled at, getting beat, getting tortured, getting raped. That's doing that in front of other kids to teach the other kids a lesson. That's traumatizing in itself. None of these kids went through that thing and came out the other end like nothing happened. Now, a lot of them probably think nothing happened, and they're like, hey, nothing happened to me. I came out, everything was all hunky. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That's like me thinking back on my childhood and thinking, oh, yeah, I went through school and everything was fine. I never got in trouble. I got in trouble. I can't remember every instance when I got in trouble about stuff. I never went to jail or anything. But shit happened in school. You can tell me in 12 years of school, like every day was just, no, there are a lot of issues. Kids go through all kinds of stuff. We just don't know. These kids, you can't tell me that you went to the Dallas Gurukula school in the early 70s and you didn't witness something or you weren't a victim of something. You know, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Maybe nothing actually happened to you, but you know what happened to other kids. You were there. This is bullshit. And it is Stockholm Syndrome. And some of them are still in the cult, preaching and praising gurus. I know, that's how dangerous it is. That's how dangerous, that's how sinister it is. That's how sinister and evil it is. When you can brainwash somebody, you can brainwash someone and control them like that to the point where you've got them worshiping the people that harm them. That's crazy. That's why I'm saying, you see that Hugh Turvey watching these people wash his feet, and he's sitting there watching them, grown men washing his feet. And you don't think that it's going through his mind like, man, I got these guys washing my feet. They think I'm really something. And he knows better than anybody that he ain't nothing but a big piece of shit. Just like the carnival barker knows that you ain't gonna win the big prize. He knows he's ripping you off. Hugh Turvey knows he ain't giving these guys shit, because he ain't got shit to give them. What's he giving them? Oh, let me tell you my story about Krishna when he played the flute and the caterpillar danced around the flower. Oh yes, Guru Dave, tell me that story while I wash your stinky ass feet. I'll be sure to go back to Godhead now. ISKCON Guru Kulis all have horrible stories to tell about their families, parents. All of them. Every one of them. And that's what I'm saying. So many of them have horrible stories. I mean, look how many kids are in this lawsuit. So many of them have horrible stories that just by process of elimination or by association, like if you put every kid, if every kid was that was abused was in a class of 10 kids, those 10 kids that were in the same class where that kid was abused, even if he was the only one out of the 11, there's 11 kids, one abused, there's 10 other ones. Those other 10 kids know that one kid was abused, so they're traumatized. They're traumatized knowing that their friend got abused, and they're afraid that they're going to get abused next. So now you've got one kid abused, but 11 kids traumatized. And you just repeat that over and over and over again. And pretty soon you've got everybody traumatized, and a percentage of them were abused. But everybody, all these kids, you can't have a classroom of kids, little kid. We're talking little kids. We're not talking college-age kids. We're talking little kids. And you start beating on one of them and yelling at one of them and yanking them around and doing whatever. You don't think that affects the other kids? And then they go home to a horrible father and mother that's treating them like shit. Because they don't know how to be parents because they're getting their parental advice from friggin' Prabhupada. Victim Guru Coolies were part of documentaries and are still attending. Being forced to wake up at 3:30 a.m. to chant. If they fell asleep, they were chastised. I know, it's child abuse. It's not even a childhood. They didn't have a childhood. They had child abuse was their childhood. Their childhood was child abuse. And that's why I'm saying, even if just one kid out of 11 was being abused, the other 10, they still had to get up at 3:30 in the morning. They still were forced to take a cold shower. They were still forced to chant, and if they didn't look right chanting or didn't pronounce something right, whack them with a stick or strip them naked and walk them through a gauntlet of people whacking their ass with a... Well, who knows what the fuck they were doing to these kids? Well, the kids know what was going on. That's why they won $400 million. Remember, they won that $400 million case. They won it. They want to act like, well, yeah, they sued them and they had a $400 million. And right, their own parents abused them half the time. Half the time they were being abused by the cultists abusing them. The parents are abusing them. The parents of these kids become tyrants. I know. I remember. My Hare Krishna friends were telling me that I was I shouldn't let my daughter do this and I shouldn't let her do that, and why is she watching cartoons, and why do I let her listen to the radio, and why is she selling? Why are we doing these things? And I'm like, she's a kid. Well, first of all, my mother had to tell me because I was getting I was listening to them, and I was like, oh, maybe she shouldn't do this and she shouldn't do that, and then my mother sat me down and she's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? She's 6 years old. She's 6 years old. She's 7 years old. She's a little girl. She can watch cartoons, and you watched cartoons when you were little. She can watch cartoons. She can do all these things. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It's not a big deal. And I had to go back, and because my daughter, little kids talk. They go, yeah, I was watching cartoons, and the other kids are like, well, you watch cartoons? We don't get to watch cartoons. Mataji, she watches cartoons. She's going to get karma. And then they call me over. The teacher calls me over and says, why are you letting her watch cartoons? She can watch cartoons, okay? She's watching cartoons. She can watch cartoons. Oh, that's Maya. That's Maya. So yeah, I can see how hardcore Hare Krishna kids parents would be monsters to their kids. Hey, Alexander Radovic. I'll just call you 7720. Hey, 7720. Good to see you here. Glad to see you made it. I know firsthand. Everyone experienced trauma in this cult. Yeah, everyone does. Everyone does, and there's no way you can get away from it. The abuse is written in their songs. Okay, so there was this one video. I had it. I was going to show it, and I don't have it anymore. And now you reminded me. You reminded me. Let me see if I can get it real quick because it's really good. It's a really good one, and it'll take a second. But it's this Hare Krishna, and she's talking about our service in Krishna, right? Like what we do, what we can do, and here we go. Let me see. Let me find it real quick. I don't know if I can find it real quick. It's not going to be quick. She was, anyway, I can't find it real quick, but she was talking about you have to want the anxiety and the anguish that comes with devotional service. And I was just like, you know what, you got to be out of your friggin' mind. You got to be out of your friggin' mind. You're going to be, now you're brainwashing people that when they come to Krishna consciousness and they start to get confused and frustrated and all of these things that are going on, now you're telling them that they need to want that. We want anxiety. We want problems and confusion. We want all of this stuff because it makes our attachment to Krishna whatever. Absolute insanity. I'll have to find it so we can watch it all together. To hate yourself, to call yourself lower than a blade of grass, to think you are the dust of the floor. I mean, you should be humble to a certain extent. Not everybody, oops, where am I here? Not everybody can be Bhaktivedanta Sri Mukunda Swami. That's part of life. We have to accept it. We have to accept our place in life. Not everybody can be Bhaktivedanta, but everybody should have some level of being humble. Absolutely, but you don't have to think. You don't have to think that you don't have to sit there and say, I'm lower than a blade of grass. I'm like dust on the floor, like a straw in the street, while I'm sitting on this little seat reading from this book, and everybody's worshiping me, and I have flowers around my neck, and everybody's calling me Guru Dev and washing my feet and feeding me food and offering me flowers and lamps and all of these things. And I'm supposed to sit there and go, yeah, well, I feel lower than the straw in the street. I'm actually lower than a blade of grass. And, that's pretty hypocritical, if you ask me. Yeah, it's mental abuse. It's mental abuse. Yeah, mental abuse. It's the first and toughest kind of abuse you will experience, and then it's all downhill from there. Yeah, absolutely. And then it's all downhill from there. Yeah, it's all flowers and worms and music and all that stuff. I worked at a restaurant for a year with absolutely no paperwork or something. I thought it was kind of not right. Did you get paid? Were you getting paid? I'm gonna go out on a limb, 7720, and say that you were not getting paid. You can sue them for free labor. Talk to an attorney. A girl in Australia quit the cult because of her disciples that she picked up from the streets were suing her for free labor. Wow, that's interesting. That's a good tactic. I like that. I cheer that on. No free labor. Cults should not be able to get free labor. I like that. She later understood the entire thing was rigged, and most of the things they teach you here are against the laws. Yeah. Yeah, funny how that is. Funny how they think they're above the law, right? Everyone says they're above the law. Well, they like to say that they're above the law, I should say. Absolutely. What is this? Money, yes, absolutely. Money. I felt kind of tricked, it sucks, bro. I really thought they were genuine. I know, it does suck, man, it does. I don't know, not all of them are bad or brainwashed. It's just some are very influenced by their scam. No, they're all brainwashed. Not all of them are bad as far as like evil, but all of them have chosen to continue with this cult. The truth is out there. Look, I'm here. I'm speaking the truth. I'm showing you where you can go. You can go to all these web pages, and you can see. You can go there. You can go here. You can go watch this guy wash his feet, whatever he does. Scammer. Such fucking scammers, man. Oh yeah, Jai. Oh. This old man who looks like the Crypt Keeper gave me some flowers. Wow, like big deal. A Bhakti Crypt Keeper over there. You're giving away. They won't, because it was hundreds and thousands of cases that couldn't be denied. You know, I quit the cult because I realized half the things they teach you are against the law. Well, not only half the things they do, well, the things that they're doing, I mean, child marriage, they encourage child marriage, which is like sex trafficking, little girls. I mean, the lady said in Mayapur that the girl said, hey, your daughter looks good. You want to, what do you call that? It's a solicitation for sex trafficking. I want your little girl, I want to take your little 12-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl, and I want to marry her to my 37-year-old son, and he can take her to go have sex with her. As far as, from what I understand, that's like sex trafficking. So it's not just these gurus are touching people, touching little kids. It's not like, oh, there's shit going on in the schools. It's not as Bhavananda is running the temple in Mayapur and all this. No, this is in their books. They are teaching women that your kids are not your kids. You're not really the parent. They're telling me that I was just a father figure for my daughter. I wasn't really her father. I was just her father figure. They're brainwashing these kids so that when the parent doesn't want to be a Hare Krishna anymore, the child will be like, well, my dad's a demon now. My dad is in Maya. I'm in the cult, but my mom and dad, they left the cult. They're not devotees anymore. But I'm still a devotee. Because that's not really my mom and dad anyway. That's just there as my father figure. You know, we're like corks in the ocean. We pop together for a little while, and then we disappear and never to see each other again. That's bullshit. You're going to teach somebody that? You're going to teach an 18-year-old girl, or even a 14-year-old girl, that her mom and dad are not her mom and dad, and that you don't even get attached to them. And is she going to believe that shit and go, yeah, they're always telling me to clean my room and telling me I can't go out on dates, so fuck them, and I'm going to go join this Hare Krishnas because they seem to be nice. And they convince her that her mom and dad are not her mom and dad, and she never sees them again. And their mom and dad are like, what happened? Like, my kid joined a cult. She won't talk to us anymore. She says we eat meat and we're demons. We're malechas and we're yavanas. That's criminal right there. You know, can you imagine if you were sending your kid to school, like junior high school, and there was a teacher in the junior high school that was teaching this shit to your kids, teaching them about child marriage and that women have small brains and women like to be raped and black people are ugly and belong in the jungles and that they should never have been given freedom and they don't deserve civil rights. And Abraham Lincoln was a fool for freeing the slaves. What we had the slaves were under control, and then you freed them, and now it's a mess. And Hitler was a great guy, and Hitler was right, and the Jews were bad, and the Jews are Shylock, and they just want money. If your kid came home from school, and he was like, Dad, guess what teacher Mike told us in class today? He told us women have small brains. Their brains are only 34 ounces. But a man's brain is 64 ounces. Men are smart, and women are stupid. And teacher Mike told us that women like to be raped. They like a man that can be raped. Isn't that right, Dad? They'd be like, what the fuck? Who's this teacher telling you this? Oh, yeah. And he told us that Hitler was good and that the Jews are bad. And, you can just smack mom around if you want. No problem. Do it with that. And, Susie, little Susie, when she turns 12, we got to get her married. You'd be like, well, who the fuck is this teacher teaching you this shit in school? Are you out of your mind? You march your ass right down to school and say, who is this teacher that's teaching all this racist, sexist, pedophile crap to my son? It sounds crazy when you look at it that way, but you put it in the Hare Krishna, no big deal. We teach it to them all day long. There's no problem. No problem. You're teaching this shit to little kids? Yeah, well, we teach it to them in stories. It's like these mythological stories about Krishna and the cowherd girls and the cowherd boys, and he kills these demons. He rips this bird open, and he throws this cow up into a tree, and he does all this stuff. He kills this big giant snake. He dances on its head. And through these really neat stories. Yeah, there's a story about the lion man that comes out of the pillar, and he takes all the little kids and he rips them apart. Kills them all. Because they were bad kids. They didn't want to be Hare Krishna, so, they were bad. So he just mutilated them all. And then he took the father, and he put him on his, and he ripped him apart, pulled all his insides out. Yeah. We teach it to them through these really cool stories. It's not like we just tell them, hey, women are stupid. We have a nice story about, Devahuti and somebody getting undressed and sorry. We know how to do it. It's fucking insane. You can't tell me that's not fucking insane. That's fucking insanity. It's all criminal. It's all criminal, man. I feel again human staying here, hanging with you guys. I feel you're all great and aware people. Yeah, I can't speak for everybody, but I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I am Bhaktivedanta Swami. I won't stand up for something that's illegal. We're not in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s anymore. Yeah. There were rules. This isn't NAM. There's rules. There were rules. Am I the only one who gives a shit about the rules? I know, right? Is that... Where is that?
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Yeah, like I said, I got a tone. It's just me. It's Mike, man. It's Mike. What can I say? You can be humble, but you need your self-esteem intact to be a present human being. Yes, but they'll tell you you're worthless to keep you around. Yeah, that's part of the manipulation. They brainwash you into thinking that you're nothing out there. You're nothing out there. You were nothing. You're a worthless piece of nothing. You're lower than this. You're lower than that. And that the only meaning that you have in your life is to sell these books in a shopping cart, pushing them around Costco parking lot. Really, you start to think that that's the only thing that has any meaning in life is selling these stupid books. And that's how they measure your worth as a human being. How many books did you sell? And if you didn't sell books, what did you do? What did you do? Did you mow the lawn? Did you mop the floor? Did you sweep? Did you get some flowers? Did you bring some money? If you didn't sell any books, well, what did you do? What did you do? Kissing the lotus feet of the scam gurus. It's so disgusting, man. Literally washing these guys' feet. Literally a grown man washing another grown man's feet. So degrading, and that's part of it. It's the dehumanizing, the degrading, removing your identity. You're nothing. You're nothing without me. Without my feet, you are nothing. And not only are you washing my feet, but I'm giving you this opportunity that doesn't come along every day. You don't get to wash my feet every day. I don't just let anybody wash my feet. If you want to wash my feet, you got to get in line. There's a lot of people waiting to wash my feet. My feet are special. My feet gives liberation. My feet relieves all karma and all your sin. It takes away everything bad and just promotes you to the spiritual world. That's how special my feet are. My feet are so special that just by washing and touching my lotus feet, you can be transported back to the cow planet, where you can have an 11-year-old girl body and have sex with Krishna. That's what my feet can do. I used to have long hair. I was a metalhead until I found about them. Yeah, I had long hair too. I haven't had long hair in 30. I cut my hair off. When I went to India, I cut it down pretty short, and then the next trip I went to India, I cut it off, and then for a long time I was shaved up. I was shaved up with Sika. I was shaved up like these freaks in these videos. And then when I left, it was weird. I just let my hair grow out. But I never let it get long again. It's never been long. Because that was 30 something years ago. It was like over 30 years ago. Just around 30 something years ago. So I haven't had hair like this 30 something years. You were getting paid. The restaurant was paying you. Well, that's good. At least you were getting paid. I mean, I think in LA Temple, they don't pay the restaurant workers. They don't pay them anything. But I felt the job was useless without paperwork. Yeah, I was working for ITV. I didn't have any paperwork. I had no paperwork. I worked for ITV for like 2 years. I didn't have no paperwork. Yeah, as far as evil, right? I don't understand. Yeah, it's evil. People don't understand, but a lot of times because it's caught up in this religion. It's like, well, we don't want to be anti-religion. We don't want to seem like we're this or we're that. Like we want to, everybody can do their own thing. Yes, everybody can do their own thing. But doing your own thing doesn't include pedophilia and domestic abuse and sexual abuse and torturing little kids and all that crap. Don't get it twisted up. Don't get it twisted up. They say, well, everybody's free to choose their own religion and everybody's free to do it. Yeah, they are. But misguided and misleading and lying and manipulating and brainwashing people into doing something that they don't want to, had no idea it was anything about. That ain't the same thing. It ain't the same thing. So again, don't get it twisted. Going to a Hare Krishna temple and joining the Hare Krishnas they want to say, oh, it's devotional service, or you're just practicing. No, it ain't bullshit. It's gaslighting, it's manipulation, it's emotional blackmail, it's brainwashing, it's all of that. It's not like just walking into a Catholic church and going, hey, I'm going to walk in there, talk to the Father for a minute, and then I'm going to bounce out. I got to stop by Costco and pick up a few things and then head over to the DMV, and I hope I don't run into any Hare Krishna. It's not like that. It's not the same thing. It's just not. And I don't care how much, I don't care who argues or who says what. It ain't going to convince me it's the same. It's not the same thing. Gentleness on steroids. Absolutely, man. Everything about Hare Krishna is on steroids, it seems like. Humbleness on steroids, and gentleness on steroids, and humility on steroids, and vegetarianism on steroids. The song gives me the chills, but not in a good way. If the children get abused, it's their bad karma. It's Kali Yuga. The Prabhupada said that these children were from Vaikuntha, that they were from the spiritual, they were from the heavenly planet. These were demigods coming down and taking birth. So how do they have karma? How do demigods coming down to take birth in Lord Chaitanya's movement? How do they have karma? I miss wearing my piercings and earrings. You can wear them. You can wear them unless they're like little Jagannath or something. I wouldn't wear that. I wouldn't do that. Just in last 2022, I was told this directly by his disciples. They allow this nonsense. Yeah, the Western women are threatened. Western women, India's not a great place for women in general. Let me tell you, it's not a great place to go for women. Women in India are not going to have a really great time. And then hanging around a cult that says women have small brains, and you're gonna smack them around, and they like to be raped. I mean, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble. Come on. It's like walking into Charlie Manson's cult and going, "Hey, is it safe around here?" I mean, come on. I mean, seriously. Bedtime stories. They're not even bedtime stories. I mean, I wish they were bedtime stories. Soul searching. Yep, soul searching. Yeah, I felt that racism in the society also, and sexism. You're right. That felt very wrong for me also. Yeah, a lot of it does feel wrong, and for some reason we put it in the back of our head. We don't want to face it right away. We don't want to face it right away. But a lot of times we know that there's something wrong. Like I knew right away when I was hearing that women had small brains and like to be raped. I knew that wasn't right, and I was told, well, it's in the Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada says this and Prabhupada says that. It's in the Bhagavad Gita, but it just didn't stop me. Because I didn't realize how, involved it is, how it's all. But it never seemed right. It just never seemed right. And let's get right to the wheel. I think we got the wheel today. Gonna get into the wheel. We'll do a quick wheel of idiot. There we are with the wheel. There it is, a big wheel. And there I am. All right, let's see. How do I get... There we go. Get over here. And we're going to spin this wheel and see what pops up. And take a look at them. Let's see. All right, so if you want to gamble, for all you non-Hare Krishnas who want to gamble, you can put your money on your favorite, the wheel of idiot. Is that a mosquito wheel there? The wheel of idiot, and you can pick your favorite guru, or you can just pick red, or yellow, green, or blue, and you can play that way. I am not the bank, so I'm not paying out. This is all for fun, but you can pick, and you can put your imaginary chips down, and we're going to spin this wheel, and we're going to see which idiot it lands on. And I know who I want it to land on, of course, my favorite idiot. And I'll tell you, my favorite idiot right now, it's still, even though he's very disturbing and disturbs me a lot, is Gaura Haridas. So I'm really pulling for Gaura Haridas, and you're pulling for Mahatma. Okay, so we got one for Mahatma, we got one for Gaura Haridas. Anybody else want to put their bets in? As you can see, we got a lot of guru frauds up there to choose from. I'm gonna give everybody a jingle to put their bets in if you want to bet. All right, so we got one Mahatma, one Gaurahari. I'm going with Gaurahari as well. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. May the best idiot win. There we go. Oh, it's our Harvard Swami. Here we have Sri Dayananda Goswami, the college-educated idiot, the only man to go to Harvard and come out dumber than when he went in. Let's see. Oh, my evil twin. My evil twin is here, and get rid of him. And let's see. Yeah, absolutely. The big winner today is Sri Dayananda Goswami, H.D. Goswami, as he called himself. Harvard Dummy Goswami is what I call him, the Harvard Dummy Goswami. And Harvard Dummy Goswami. Let's see. Where's my beautiful backdrop? Okay, so let's find Harvard Dummy Goswami. Oh, there he is. Mr. Harvard himself. Mr. Harvard himself. Oh, wait, we didn't ask you to start talking yet. We just shut up. Hold on. Just shut up for a second. Let's see. Oh, so this was just the other day, but it looks like it was in. I think it was in Spanish. What's this one? I think we did that one. Let's look at this.
Principios dados por Prabhupada, de cantar las rondas, de seguir los 4 principios y de dedicar la vida, o sea, de siempre esforzarse o tratar de hacer algo para sacar adelante la misión de Prabhupada. Es algo muy raro en el sentido literal, ¿no?
Oh, here he's speaking Spanish, obviously. Obviously, he's speaking Spanish, and he's got some Spanish-speaking disciples that I guess that he's just initiated. We can't hear what he's got to say, but we know what he's saying. We know it's the same bullshit. But of course, he is He is Mr. Harvard Goswami. He's a Harvard Goswami. Let's see if we get this one.
And so if someone really understands this, that we are eternal, we are not matter, then it's a game changer in terms of your set of values, how you prioritize different activities, what's important, what's not important, what should I do, what shouldn't I do, what activities that I now do, perhaps I shouldn't be doing, and what activities that I'm not doing, perhaps I'd better start doing because what's at stake is my eternal existence.
Okay, so he brings up a good point. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I definitely would not base my entire life on a book that a book of stories and mythology that was written 1,000, 2,000 years ago. You get a bunch of books written 1,000, 2,000 years ago. Those books have no value in modern day life. That they don't even teach. These books don't even teach you to be good because they can't even discern these Vedic books or whatever. He wants you to base your life and make decisions based on these books, these teachings. These books think that a grown man should have an 11-year-old wife. An 11-year-old girl makes the perfect wife for a 25-year-old man. Now, maybe 2,000 years ago, for some reason, women were dying by the age of 18, so they needed to, you needed to get, if you wanted to have some kids, maybe you had to start younger because, women were dying before they were even, turning 20 years old. Maybe some weird, you could make an argument for that. I don't know. I'm not saying to make that argument. I'm not saying to make that argument. But I'm saying that maybe there's something to that led to this idea that 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old girls, should be married to grown men. Maybe there's something 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, but we don't have any evidence of that. Because not every culture was doing that. We don't have evidence of child marriage being something that was done worldwide. We don't have evidence of that. We just don't. All of these books and these stories. You want me to make decisions on my life today? How I'm going to live my life today based on these storybooks, this mythology, mythological characters doing imaginary things, somehow is going to teach me something to do? Like Krishna ripping open a bird's mouth? It's somehow going to teach me and give me some kind of life skill that's going to make my life better or help me understand something? You're going to be out of your mind. You got to be out of your mind. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And you went to Harvard. You went to Harvard and you went to Harvard. You went to one of the best schools on the fucking planet where people spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to become somebody, a doctor, a lawyer, a politician, a president of a country. Harvard produces people like that. They produce like politicians and lawyers and ambassadors and delegates and governors and things like that. You don't go to Harvard. You can go to Harvard. They have a medical school. You can go to Harvard to become a doctor. Absolutely. But there are schools that are geared for this and for that. You know, Stanford is a law school. You can go there to become a doctor, but you know, there's certain things in certain schools. Harvard is for learning a lot of good stuff. This guy went in there and came out dumber than he went in. The guy went in there and he couldn't figure out that there is no demon head eating the moon, and that the sun is not closer to the earth than the moon is. Especially not because Sunday comes before Monday. And he's got to know, he went to Harvard, he's got to know that women don't have small brains. That's not why, they're not less intelligent because they have small brains. One thing has nothing to do with the other. Women don't like to be raped. This guy doesn't, he can't understand these concepts. He's too dumb to understand these things. He wants me to, is that Harvard behind him? Is that a picture of Harvard behind him? He'll be the dumbest fucker I've ever seen. Guy goes to Harvard, brags about it, but when he opens his mouth, he shows himself to be the stupidest fucking son of a bitch I've ever seen. You tell me this is fucking, these stupid books are going to have something to deal with what I'm going through in my life today? You can tell me there's no other book that I could read? There's no other book written by anybody that's going to help me, give me a little peace of mind in today's world, that can tell me about what's going on in today's world, to help me in today's world? No, I got to read a book about a fantasy book that was written 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago? About an imaginary war and a guy who went and... Shut up. Shut the fuck up, Harvard goes Swami. You're a stupid piece of shit. In a pedophile cult. Protecting pedophiles. If all that other shit wasn't bad enough, you're in a pedophile... On top of it, you're in a pedophile cult. Protecting pedophiles. Palling around with pedophiles. Bhavananda and Rameshwar. And who the fuck knows who else? You all fucking pieces of shit. They said, I'm going to become a criminal if I read Jack the Ripper. Your type of brainwashing they will play on you. It's disgusting. I know. It's friggin' sinister the way they operate. Absolutely sinister. It's sinister. It's evil. It's like satanic mass type shit. With these little girls. What's up with the little girls? With the Ramananda Roy and the little girls. And the Indra Yumna with the little girls and the women and the 12-year-old girls must be married and little girls and pedophilia. And it's not pedophilia if they're 13 or over. What is it with this cult? What is it with their gurus and their little girls and the freaking little young child marriage? And let me tell you, child marriage is just another name for pedophilia. You say child marriage, it sounds like underage marriage. No, it's pedophilia. It's a grown man having sex with a young girl. Everything is opera. Your own existence is opera. Everything's opera. Go to India. See, everything's opera. Just being there is opera. It's like, oh, I'm being offensive just because I'm white and I'm in India and I'm actually Mexican. So there you go. Yep, being a normal human being living in the real world is offensive and opera. It is. It's offensive. You're committing offense. It's like original sin. I was researching also about the pedophilia, and I thought about that Epstein files. It makes no difference. It absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I was saying. That's why I had a thumbnail where I had Prabhupada's face and Epstein's face, and I'm like, what's the difference? Epstein is human trafficking these young girls to these grown men so they can have sex with them. Prabhupada is trafficking young girls to grown men so they can have sex with them too. Epstein, nobody likes Epstein, but Prabhupada's got a whole friggin' cult around him thinking he's freaking God. Explain that. Explain that shit. To the acting God say, yeah, a God man. I'm a God man. Yeah. You don't understand their teachings because you don't have enough spiritual credit, or you made offenses in a previous life, or you're chanting offensively, you're in a Nam Aparad, you're not in Nam Abbas, or you don't have a spirit, you're not fully surrendered to your guru, or you don't have a bona fide guru, or it's Kali Yuga, Prabhu, and it's the advancement of Kali Yuga, or you have diarrhea of the brain, or it's always something. You have diarrhea of the brain if you don't understand or question their BS. I know, it's the cult tactics, absolutely. And Prabhupada used them, and that's why it's hard. It's hard for these people that are in the cult to recognize that Prabhupada was using cult tactics on them. They don't want to admit it. Prabhupada's gaslighting you and fooling you and tricking you and all of that, and you've fallen for it. At least we recognize we fell for it. Hey, we fell for it. I fell for it, but you guys are still in it. And we're trying to wake you up. We're trying to show you. And all of these nice people in here sharing their experiences. All these nice people are talking. Fake Human, Howard Johnson, and everybody. They're trying to help. They're saying, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I know, me too. That's what they're saying in here. Nam Aparad, absolutely, Nam Aparad. It's Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga's advancing, Well, why do it? Why should I do it? If Trivikram can't do it, and all these people, all these gurus, Bhavananda couldn't do it, and Bhaktivedanta couldn't do it, and Lokanath Swami couldn't do it, Rameshwar couldn't do it, and Harikesh couldn't do it. Jayatirtha couldn't do it. Yashodanandan couldn't do it. Well, the list goes on. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. Sudam couldn't do it. My friend Radhakunda couldn't do it. Sri Maya couldn't do it. All these guys, they couldn't do it. These guys can't do it now. Yashodananda wants to come on YouTube and sit there like he's a preacher and he's going to preach about this and that. And he's going to read from Prabhupada books like he's guru, like he's a Swami, and he's going to do it. But he can't do it. He can't go live in a temple. Go live in a temple. Go move into Madhu Pandit's temple and be the head sannyasi there. No, he didn't want to do that. Hey, you were sannyasi for 10 years when you were in your 20s. Why aren't you doing it now? Dhamma Ghosh, Paranjan. Why don't they go move into the temple? Why don't they go move into Madhu Pandit's temple? Show us all how it's done. All you old Prabhupada disciples are talking all this bullshit. Go show us how it's done. Go move into the temple and do it. Paranjan, go do it. Move into the temple and do it. Let me see you follow up. Oh, well, I did it back. Well, do it now. I did it too. I was doing it too. You're no longer in the cult because you made offenses to other devotees. Yeah, I know. What about all the offenses that were made to me? What about all the offenses that were made to my daughter? How come we're the ones that are out? How come they're supposed to, how about all the offenses that Svavas did? How come he's not out? How about all the offenses of Ratnabhushna and Sura? Oh, Sura passed away, bless his heart. He's gone. But all these other devotees We're talking shit about me and my daughter. What about their offenses? There's no aparad for them. This little devotee girl got molested in school, and now you're talking shit about her father, her and her father, but that's not aparad. That's not aparad. How is that not aparad? I didn't hear nobody say, oh, you can't talk shit about Sri Mukunda because you're committing aparad. I didn't hear Yashoda say, oh, you can't talk shit about Sri Mukunda and make death threats to him because that's aparad. No. They evidently, aparad only works one way. Evidently, it only works one way. One-way street. If you injure your feet, right foot because you made offense to devotees, left foot to the deities. Yeah, like that's not superstition. It's so superstitious, and that's okay. I mean, if you want to be superstitious and that makes you happy, I mean, what can you do? If you're gonna cross your fingers all the time, and you gotta do anything, whatever. I mean, yeah, everything has a result for punishment. Yeah, no good deed goes unpunished in this cult. Absolutely, man. You can do something. I remember I was trying to do something, and they came and said, "Oh, Prabhu, you can't do that. You put your foot pointing around." I was like, "Oh my God!" It's like every single thing. Every single thing's an offense, And I understand, hey, you don't want to show your butt to the deities or something. I mean, I get it. But you have to go, overboard with everything. Overboard with everything. It just shows the obsessive compulsive narcissistic malignancy disorder, where everything is taken to the extreme and everything is turned around and used against whoever that person wants to use it against. This is fucking disgusting. So anyway, this show has gone way overboard, but I've had a lot of fun talking shit. I need to talk shit about these people, especially when these people come in here and try to fucking derail something or post comments about, oh, the cult's not that bad. Fuck you, cult's not that bad. That's like saying, hey, jail. Hey, a lot of people don't like jail, but, jail's not that bad for some. No, jail's bad. Hey, nobody's having a good time in jail. If you're having a good time in jail, there's something wrong up here. You got used to it. You started enjoying it. But jail is not a place where you enjoy yourself. But if you're enjoying yourself in jail, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I mean, I understand that you're conditioned in jail. You're in jail. You're conditioned. I understand it because I understand a cult. It's like being in a cult. I respect you, Shiva. Hey, no offense. Like I said, I have a tone. I'm like knitting cult. I'm like the knitting cult guy without the knitting. I'm just the cult guy. I'm the non-knitting cult guy. That's who I am. Hey, but it's been so much fun. Listen, they see a devotee going through something that, oh, it's their own karma, they made it. It is, it's such a, that's exactly, that's going to be a topic for a whole nother show. I'm gonna do like some Sri Mukunda memories and tell some stories. That's what I'm going to do. But I want to thank everybody for watching today, joining me. I really like seeing all your comments and everything. I try to get to everybody's comment because I want it to be, I want everybody's input, so that those people that are watching that can see that it's all of us together talking about this, not just me. I'm the guy up here on the screen, but I mean it's all you guys talking that makes it so poignant and so powerful. Just all the different comments and different perspectives. We've all got our own story, and I just love it, and that's what makes it so great. So everybody. Thanks for joining in. Please like, share, and subscribe. I can't wait to do the next one. In fact, maybe I'll do another one in 8 hours or now. No, I'll do another one soon, though. This has been a lot of fun. And Everybody have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon. Wherever you are, have a great time and have some great luck. And please stay out of a cult. And for all you new people out there that don't know who I am, you're like, who's this guy? Here's me when I was a Hare Krishna.